What if I told you that one of the cutest animals on Earth has become a daily problem for restaurants in Australia? Loudly crying face. An animal so friendly, curious, and fearless, that it literally sneaks into buildings searching for food. Meet the quokka, the animal many people call the happiest animal in the world. Herb sparkles. And honestly, just looking at a quokka feels impossible not to smile. With its tiny body, round face, and permanent little grin, the quokka became famous all over the internet for looking unbelievably happy in every photo. Tourists travel across the world just to see them. And on Australia's Rottnest Island, they're everywhere. Walking near beaches. Resting near tourists. And constantly wandering around restaurants and cafes looking for food. Which sounds adorable. Until you realize how serious the problem actually became. Because despite their cute appearance, quokkas are still wild animals. And many visitors make one huge mistake. They feed them human food. Now at first, this may seem harmless. A small snack. A piece of bread. A leftover fry. But for quokkas, human food can be extremely dangerous. Their digestive systems were never designed for processed foods, sugar, salt, or oily meals. And over time, these foods can make them seriously sick. Which is exactly why some restaurants on Rottnest Island now place warning signs outside their entrances telling visitors, do not let the quokkas inside. But the funny part is, the quokkas don't seem to care at all. Loudly crying face. Because these tiny animals have become surprisingly bold. Employees say quokkas often wait near doors, watching carefully for opportunities to sneak inside restaurants the moment someone opens the entrance. And honestly, they're incredibly determined. Some walk directly toward tourists hoping for dropped food. Others quietly hide under tables. And some even attempt to climb into bags searching for snacks. Which somehow makes them feel less like wild animals. And more like tiny furry food thieves. Loudly crying face. But behind all the funny videos and cute photos lies a real environmental concern. Because when wild animals become dependent on humans for food, something dangerous starts to happen. They slowly lose their natural survival instincts. Instead of searching for their normal diet in nature, they begin relying on tourists and restaurants. And that can seriously affect their long-term survival. Which is why workers and wildlife experts constantly remind visitors. The best way to help quokkas is actually to leave them alone. And honestly, that's difficult for many people. Because quokkas are unbelievably friendly compared to most wild animals. Unlike creatures that run away from humans, quokkas often appear calm and curious around people. Which helped turn them into internet celebrities. Millions of photos and videos of smiling quokkas spread across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. People became obsessed with them almost overnight. And because of that fame, Rottnest Island now receives huge numbers of tourists every year hoping to meet one in person. But despite all the attention, quokkas only exist naturally in a very small part of the world. Which makes them even more special. And perhaps the strangest part of all is that these tiny smiling animals became both a tourist attraction and a daily challenge for restaurants trying to protect them. Because every day, workers open their doors knowing there's a good chance a tiny hungry quokka is already waiting outside for another chance to sneak in. Herb loudly crying face.